Okay, now let's come to the next question, which is gig economy. Gig economy, examine the role of gig economy in the process of empowerment of women in India. So this might seem like a very straightforward question, but it's not a straightforward question. It is not asking you about gig economy. It is not asking you about gig economy. It is asking you about the impact of women, the role of gig economy in the empowerment of women. So they have connected two different things. First is gig economy, second is empowerment of women. So I still think that this question is moderate to difficult. It's not a very easy question because हमें मतलब impact of gig economy on the entire society नहीं बोलना है, very particularly on women बोलना है. And if we do not give that, then we will not get marks. Second, is this an important question? I don't think that this is an important question. I don't think that a similar question will repeat because primarily because at that time gig economy was in news for a very long period of time, about two to 3 years. This was again in 2021. This is just immediately after the whole COVID thing. In fact, in 2021 थोड़ा बहुत मतलब वो COVID का भी चल रहा था. So because of all of this, this question has come, but to repeat the exact question, I don't think it is highly likely. We can always prepare a very short note on gig economy, some data on gig economy, some definition, and very 2 to 5 points, or maybe 5 to 6 very specific points. But I don't think that impact of gig economy on women, students, elderly, these sort of very differentiated study is required. Okay, so I don't think this is as important. Is it scoring? I would personally feel that it is not as scoring because see, this question when it comes in the UPSC exam, we don't know, we cannot study the answer pehle se and go, right? So it all depends upon, so everybody would have some sort of normal points which everybody will write. And usme, what will fetch us more marks is one or two diverse examples or one or two different points. And usme se, we might get maybe half or 1 mark more. That's it. We will not get 2 or 3 marks more than the other person. Usually, that is what I feel. So, because see, the question is very direct and straightforward. So everybody knows कि economy का impact लिखना है empowerment of women. Okay. So this is what I want to talk about the question. Now let's talk about the structure. So I would say impact of gig economy on women. So I think here gig economy, the definition of gig economy is a very good way to start the introduction because एक तो पहले gig economy क्या है वो हमें पता है कि नहीं, that we have to show to the examiner. But in the other questions, the tolerance, assimilation, caste, these things the examiner would assume that we know. But gig economy is such a topic that is hot and that is that just came into the UPSC exam, mains exam se pehle to gig economy ka upar I don't think there was a question. So now the examiner wants to know if I know gig economy or not. So that is why our definition based introduction here is very good in my opinion. Next, what I would say next is impact of gig economy in the process of empowerment of women. So I can talk about gig economy here. Then, very briefly, I can talk about the empowerment of women, right? So what do I mean by the empowerment of women? That can be given here, right? In a very short, succinct manner. What do I mean by empowerment of women? It not only means that they're financially, uplifted, but also, educationally, socially, politically. So this sort of holistic, comprehensive empowerment is what we mean by capacity building, is what we mean by empowerment of women. So that could be given as a very short introduction, or very not introduction, but a very short sub part for the question. Next is the actual part, which is impact, role of the role, examine the role of gig economy in the process of empowerment of women. So here I would say, see, there would be some positive role, right? So I would say about the positive role. Next, I would say about the negative role. Okay, these two things I will say definitely. Then next thing that I can give is what is the way forward, right? So how can this whole process, this whole idea of gig economy, the whole concept of gig economy, how can it better suit women, right? That is one way forward. The conclusion could be like this. The conclusion may, what we can do is we can expand gig economy, its positive impacts, not just on women, but on other sections as well. Okay. We can say that, see, gig economy, not children, marginal workers or daily wage workers or contractual laborers, informal workers. Gig economy gives an importance to a lot of these different aspects of the society, different people, different groups of the society. So in that way, gig economy, the positives, the benefits of gig economy must be spread towards everybody, right? And so we can actually conclude by saying that gig economy, the positive impacts can be spread to multiple groups so that inclusive growth in India can be achieved to a certain extent. Okay. So that can be the conclusion. So this would be, my structure, my way of structuring the answer. Now let's see the answer itself. Okay, so here, if you see, either the role is examined, but again a positive negative demarcation is not done. That could be done, but see, in the first, this role of gig economy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points are given, which are broadly positive points, so that is good. And then some 5 points are given, which is a negative of gig economy and women. Okay, so in that way, I think it broadly addresses these two parts, but some way forward or some steps to be taken so that gig economy, the benefits of gig economy is spread to women also in a more equitable manner. वो तो इधर mention नहीं है, and if that could be given here, then I think this would have been a much better answer. It's not that it should be a very large thing. It can just be like a very small thing. So suppose this is the paper. What I can do is, see here, I can say about the negative role, and then here in a very small part I can give the way forward, and here in this box I can maybe give a conclusion, right? It is not necessary that I should always give the conclusion in a horizontal way like this. I can also give the conclusion in a square manner like here. Okay. So I think if that could have been done, then this answer would be much better.